these bills. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Minister Chester Burrows.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and it's great to be able to take a call in respect of supporting this bill, the Regulatory Reform Bill and Regulatory Reform Repeals Bill. And I find myself in agreement with the previous speaker who said that this change, or the change in respect particularly to stickers on video labels, is something that should have happened some time ago. And it's interesting to note in reading the transcript from the Select Committee debates that the officials who were making this point to the committee said that they had spoken to previous government on many occasions trying to get exactly that reform, and that's good. I'll come to that later. The government is committed to improving the quality of regulation and removing unnecessary, ineffective and excessively costly regulation, and this bill helps to achieve that. The Regulatory Reform Bill is an omnibus bill and so carries many provisions which will make it easier to do business. This is particularly important as an objective in current economic climate, and I hope further reform bills will follow. As a Minister with responsibility for Films, Videos and Publications Classification Act, it is obvious that these changes are very, very necessary in terms of the matter I mentioned earlier. The industry has expressed frustration with some of the administrative requirements in the Classification Act. They support the purpose of the Act, but say they are hampered by compliance requirements which are outdated and costly. The Regulatory Reform Bill will modernise these requirements and reduce those compliance costs. A key change will be to allow industry to print classification labels. Currently, labels take the form of stickers and have to be physically attached to DVDs and some computer games. And this is an expensive and time-consuming process, but it is a job. And it's out of step with most comparable jurisdictions. It's time the process was updated and streamlined to better meet the needs of industry and the viewing public. Allowing the print and sticker labels is a small but valuable change. It's expected to save businesses up to $2 million in compliance costs. The bill will also improve the process for reviewing classification decisions. People who disagree with the decision of the Classification Office can now apply to a review board to have the decision reviewed. However, the current process for reviewing decisions can be very lengthy, and to be effective, a review process should deliver timely justice. A protracted process has little value for industry. The entertainment industry is fast growing. There is often little time between classification and the release of a major film, and there is therefore only a short period during which a distributor can challenge a classification. And this bill will establish a more timely review process. It will allow review applications to be lodged more rapidly. The Classification Office will move from a paper-based system to an electronic register of classification decisions, and it will make classification decisions publicly available on the electronic register within 5 days. And our Falfa over there is asking who wrote it, and it's obvious that if he had read the transcript from the Select Committee process, he would see that this is something that those officials have been asking for a long period of time, and unfortunately under the government in which he served, or would have liked to have served, in actual fact, or served as a public servant, which is fair enough, he never had the opportunity to supervise or to see brought into fruition the claims and the entreaties that those officials made to that government under when they were in government prior to 2008. And it's a really shame, it's a crying shame, but what we know is they hate business. And they hate business so much they weren't prepared to grant this small wish, because we know that those people who licked those labels and stuck them on those CD pouches, every one of them voted for their party. So I'm pleased to be able to support this bill and its intent to be able to reduce compliance costs, to create productivity in this fine country of ours, and I endorse it to the House.
Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Member Jonathan Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very happy to stand in support of these two